Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Dita. This was the hardest award for the judges to decide, as we had several highly worthy applications from successful and diverse Vermont companies. After a great deal of debate, the judges unanimously selected Wayside Restaurant of Montpelier as the most deserving company. Through the deliberations, the judges were particularly impressed with the following. Since 1966, the Zaccanelli and Galfetti family and Wayside Restaurant has successfully become an integral part of their local community, both literally and figuratively. They've established a loyal customer base through their excellent customer service, delicious food menu, and involvement in the community with fun events in addition to supporting many local food producers. Their daily attention to detail and putting their customers and staff first has sustained their financial health and positioned them well for future growth. The judges remarked on the family's strong leadership and conviction in business decisions that have passed on to the next generation. Wayside Restaurant has continued to grow and fortify their position as a community landmark through a successful generational transfer of ownership. Wayside is a true asset to the community in terms of the service they provide as well as what they give back to the community. One judge put it best when he commented, "Wayside is an institution woven into the community." Lastly, Wayside is the epitome of a well-run, hard-working, caring, and let's not forget, very successful Vermont family business. Please welcome Karen Galfetti Zaccanelli, who is accompanied by her parents, Eugene and Harriet Galfetti, and her husband, Brian Zaccanelli.
Thank you, Richard. Hello, my name is Karen Galfetti Zaccanelli, and I'd like to thank all of you for being here to help us celebrate this special day. Before we get started, my husband Brian and I would also like to thank my brother Dave Galfetti, UVM class of '86, for suggesting that we apply for this award. The Galfetti and Zaccanelli families truly feel privileged to receive such a prestigious UVM award. Today we would like to pay a special tribute to the man that laid the groundwork for the Wayside Restaurant's long-standing success. My dad, Eugene Galfetti, UVM class of '62. At UVM, he was a treasurer of his ATO fraternity. Here's a cartoon of Gino, apparently using a shotgun to fend off and protect ATO's bag of money. Dad was also the lead conductor of his fraternity's 45-member a cappella group, which won the inter-fraternity sing. Mom polished this up to sterling silver trophy for this big event today. Later this year, we will be celebrating Dad's 80th birthday. Once again, I will give him a card on his birthday and tell him how much I love him, respect him, and how I strive to make him proud. My father never wants to read the birthday card. He always wants me to read it to him. So today I'm going to read this tribute to you, Dad, with a few photos on the screen behind me. The Wayside opened in 1918. It was started by a lady named Effie Ballou. She would often make donuts and soup at the house and bring them down the hill to her roadside eatery. The house behind the little Wayside has been the home of the owner ever since. How many years ago was 1918? Well, let's see. World War I came to an end, color movies were invented, and for the longest time, it was the last year the Red Sox won the World Series. As many of you know, the Red Sox finally won the World Series in 2014. And we had to take the banner down. As a fitting finale, we had Babe Ruth's daughter, a long-standing Red Sox fan, believe it or not, autograph this banner and officially end the curse of the Bambino. Effie Ballou sold the Wayside to the Fish family, who successfully operated it as a small diner-style restaurant. This is a picture of Vivian Fish, whose family also operated the Wayside for 2 generations. My dad and mom Harriet purchased the Wayside restaurant in 1966. The Wayside restaurant at the time was a small, locally popular family restaurant with tremendous year-round potential. It sat at a grand total of 50 patrons with a combination of booths, tables, and 2 small counters. While I was more interested in showing off my horse in front of the Wayside, my dad focused on serving delicious comfort food at affordable prices. To no one's surprise, the line to get into the Wayside kept growing. And when that line was out the door for an extended period of time, my dad figured it was time to put on another addition. He expanded the Wayside 7 times to its current size of 160 seats, including the single 12-seat counter. My husband Brian, UVM class of 81, and myself, UVM class of 84, purchased the Wayside from my parents in 1998. We simply followed my dad's business plan. He focused on providing quality home-cooked meals at a reasonable price. And today, the Wayside is Vermont's most popular restaurant, serving over 1 million customers every 3 years. These are some of the farmers we currently work with at the Wayside. Dad began buying local long before so many other restaurants jumped on the bandwagon. He realized that fresh ingredients in season yielded the most flavorful meals. Perhaps it was his upbringing working on the LeMay family farm growing up. Unlike other restaurants, he welcomed the interruption of another farmer walking through the back door with the fruits of their local harvest. Many, many customers soon learned where they could go for local farm-fresh cooking. Early on, Dad realized that families appreciated the Wayside's healthy food and reasonable prices. Catering to kids was an important part of his business plan. He realized that kids were also the Wayside's future. And when parents ask their kids where they want to go out to eat, and they all say the Wayside, their decision's easy. The New England edition of the Disney Family Vacation Guide recently referred to the Wayside as 1 in a million, in recognition of the staff going the extra mile to make kids feel welcome. The Wayside was recognized 2 years ago as Montpelier's first green restaurant. Our motivation to achieve this impressive distinction was inspired by my dad's own efforts to develop an off-the-grid home in Washington, Vermont. His enthusiasm for being self-sufficient and a good steward of the land around him inspired Brian and I to minimize our carbon footprint at the Wayside. We adopted a mission statement to be the restaurant industry leader in the areas of waste reduction, energy, and water conservation, pollution prevention, and transportation efficiencies, for others to follow, including our valued customers. For us newcomers to the business, Dad's refusal to provide tour bus drivers with a free meal was a difficult pill to swallow. How can you not give away 1 free meal to get 40 more meals from a bus group? The truth of the matter was that bus groups often interrupted the service of the Wayside's regular customers, who helped pay the bills during the slower winter months. They often would only order a cup of soup, use the bathrooms, and leave a minimal tip. Not good for wait staff morale. Dad had confidence in his high-volume meal pricing strategy. He stayed focused on his tight margins with no room for frivolous discounting. His attention to detail and daily food cost analysis continues to this day. The bus groups now realize it's a privilege to eat at the now historic Wayside and are gladly willing to pay for the driver's delicious meal. Transferring the reins of a successful business to the next generation does not happen overnight. The Wayside restaurant was no exception. My dad's preferred choice, like any parent, was to sell the Wayside to one of his 5 children. All the Galfetti kids played an important role and worked at the Wayside while they were growing up. We all worked in a variety of capacities, ranging from the kitchen to the dining room and even outdoor maintenance. There were no full-time jobs waiting for us upon graduation from high school. We were all encouraged to pursue a college education. 4 of Dad's kids even graduated from the University of Vermont. Pictured behind me is a photo taken of us all again, visiting our brother Dave at the Delta Psi fraternity for UVM's homecoming weekend over 30 years ago. Beyond achieving a college degree, we were also required to go and work someplace else for a while. Dad wanted us to learn that maybe he wasn't such a tough boss after all. Today, Brian and I look forward to our occasional research and development meetings with Mom and Dad at area restaurants. Meetings between the 4 of us are a little more informal than they were 16 years ago when we took over the Wayside. Matters of the day and future plans are often discussed with our favorite beverage, sitting on the front porch of their lakefront retirement home. Here's a picture of my mom Harriet and our son Nick, who's now 18 years old. From the beginning, all the children of the Galfettis and now the grandchildren will learn how to repeat my dad's favorite toast. Confusion to our competitors. Thank you very much.